There are few things in life as pathetic as being a proud Reddit moderator. It's a position that attracts the most insufferable hoity-toity dweebs like moths to a flame, and it bestows upon them the tiniest sliver of power, just barely above like a middle school hall monitor, and somehow that immediately goes to their heads and corrupts their already ugly soul, leading to the most embarrassing meltdowns and just outrageous power trips over nothing. And this is a stereotype that's existed for a while, and it seems like it's just the truth of being a Reddit mod. Like, this is just the sad reality of the people that take up that mantle. They think of themselves as fucking Batman, but what they actually are is the goddamn box ghost from Danny Phantom. Anyway, though, I'm blasting that ass with some new hotness here. A brand new mod meltdown courtesy of r/art. It is a pretty fascinating one, and also not its first rodeo. The r/art subreddit's got some hostile mods. So I'm going to go over the most recent one from, I think it was yesterday. And then I also want to give you a little, blast from the past from a previous instance where one of these mods went nuts. But this one I think is quite special. So what happened is there's an artist named Hayden Clay who posted his art on the subreddit. It got very popular, and in the comments he was replying to somebody asking for more information about his work, and he mentioned that, you can find my work here, and there's also some prints available too. Just a very quick reply to a nice comment. And one of the rules of the subreddit is you can't be like self-promoting your work, so you can't be like advertising prints or anything. So because he used the word prints, it got the whole post removed. Just blasted to the shadow realm. They smited it. So Hayden Clay was pretty upset, so he messaged the mod about it, trying to get further clarity, and maybe he could try and find a way out of this pickle here because he felt it was unjust. There you can see the comment that got him banned. I have a whole mini-series called Clear Boundaries with Prints Available. Just a very offhanded remark about having prints available, and it was removed because of that. So he said, "Are you seriously banning me for giving more information on my work? No, I banned you for breaking our rules. But I can also remove all your old posts as well if you'd like." Oh man. This guy's no-nonsense, tough as nails, you don't tussle with the muscle, r/art mod. Oh, brother, watch out. He's coming down with the iron fist. This is so fucking silly. So, like I said, the rule is like no self-promoing or whatever. You can't be mentioning where they can purchase your art or anything like that. Which he wasn't really doing. It's an offhanded reply to someone that was saying they'd like to have the art in their office or whatever. Like, it's such a stretch to even have that be like a violation of their rule in the first place. It is solely because the word print is there. What an unbelievably stinky loser. This guy is working for free as the moderator of a subreddit, and he thinks he's doing the Lord's work here. He's treating himself like he's fucking Jason Bourne or something. Oh my god, it's so sad. I can literally smell this guy through his messaging. I already know when he typed, "But I can delete your old posts as well if you'd like." I can see him doing this with his hands like some kind of fucking anime supervillain. Oh, he's such a worm. Hayden Clay responds saying, "Just delete the comment and move on. Sorry I mentioned the word print." And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. He said, "Your history has been removed. You're welcome." He laid the smackdown on him. He just poofed away all of his post history. And then he replied again saying, "At this point, this isn't about breaking the rules. This is you having some sort of vendetta against me. My comment broke Rule 9. I get that, and apologize. This reaction is overstepping boundaries." Which it definitely is. Worth mentioning, Hayden Clay had some posts that were extremely popular, some older posts in his history. Like, I think one of them, according to Dolan Darkus, was even in the top 250 of all time for the subreddit. So having his entire history removed actually is somewhat of a big deal to an artist who has this as a means of showcasing their talent. This, also, just to be clear, I think this rule somewhat makes sense to avoid, like, exploitation for people coming in there solely to, like, astroturf it for their own gain or whatever. But when it comes to like an individual artist, having this kind of eyes on their art, this visibility is very helpful to them. So I feel like it shouldn't be something that you destroy them for solely because they mention that they could be found elsewhere. Like, I feel like that's something you should want to help these artists that are very talented. But on r/art, it's run like some kind of fucking cult, I suppose. And if you step out of line, well, I hope you're ready to take the the big beatdown that the mods will give you. They'll take you behind the back of the bar and break your kneecaps. Metaphorically speaking, of course. I don't think they even know how to throw a punch. They'd probably break their own fucking wrist if they even tried to hit a heavy bag, I would imagine. But this shit is just so unbelievably foul. Like, he has done nothing wrong. He reached out asking, you know, like, what's going on? What's the deal here? He even, like, apologized and said, can you just delete the comment and we can move on? And that was enough to make the Reddit mod go even more Insano style. Like, Jesus Christ. Just check yourself into an institution, buddy. Oh my lord. I don't even know who the fuck you are. He thought that line went so hard when he thought of it. That's some major main character energy there. Oh! Yeah, Hayden Clay's the one with main character energy. Certainly not the r/art mod who's gone through and deleted every single one of his posts, all because he had the gall, the audacity to talk to him in DMs. He dared try and speak to a mod. Don't you know they are holy, sacred icons of the Church of r/art? You can't just speak to them and question their decisions. And then he replies saying, the power-hungry mod who deleted all my posts because I asked a question. True. You've been reported for harassment. Have a wonderful day. Nice job making this sub a worse place for artists and those who enjoy it. Yeah, the mod reported him for harassment all because he was asking a question in DMs and then just responding to having all of his shit just wiped out in the extinction event of r/art. And now he's been reported for harassment. I already know this mod. His heart was beating so fast. This was probably the most excitement he'd had since the last time he had done this. Like, I bet he was cracking open 4 Mountain Dews, like cracking his knuckles. Time to get to business. He talked to me. Time to remove all of his posts. Also, that report for harassment led to Hayden Clay being banned site-wide on Reddit for 3 days. Pretty cool system they have over there at Reddit where one angry mod can make a complete fraudulent, bogus report of harassment and it immediately leads to a ban for the recipient there. What should have happened is this report goes through, someone takes a look at it, they immediately recognize that this mod is unstable and should not have that position in the first place, so they strip him of his mod privileges. That's what should have happened. And if that did, I bet that guy's life would have felt like it was crumbling down around him. Because if he can't enact his power on strangers on r/art, then his life has no meaning. But that is just not how Reddit functions over there at all. I remember over the years it's been kind of revealed that a large part of Reddit is controlled by a handful of these turbo losers, where it's like this tight-knit club of people that have absolutely nothing going on with their life, so their whole existence is dedicated to power tripping on Reddit and like controlling it like they're the puppet masters. And I imagine this is one of those kind of people, because it's pretty clear that he can just report someone and immediately they're banned for it. So I have to guess that this mod is part of that group, especially when you consider that his appeal was also denied with the admins siding with the mod's harassment theory here, believing that that was the correct course of action. He needed to be banned for 3 days, all because he decided to try and ask a question to an r/art moderator. That's a sin punishable by death on Reddit. But anyway, as a result of all of this, r/art went into like a pseudo lockdown where you couldn't submit new posts or make comments. They have since soft reopened it so you can make comments again. And of course, all the comments are probably what you're expecting, where everyone is mentioning Hayden Clay and how unfair this is, and basically calling for the resignation of this mod as if it's some kind of like legitimate position. It's not, and it's also never going to happen. He is never going to relinquish his mod privileges. It is literally what he lives for, I bet. And you can kind of see that because he still replies to people that reach out about this. Like, even outside of Hayden Clay, there's people expressing their concern. So here's another r/art mod classic. We ban people who don't follow our rules, for sure. Cool, but I'm more talking about the way the mod spoke to the person. They just asked a question and they got their history wiped. Not sure what you mean. If you look at the link I provided, you can see the conversation they showed between themselves and the mod. Or they refused to follow our rules and were removed. Okay, but like I said, their history was wiped for asking a question. Is that what you do here? I'm not clicking on your link. It's a Twitter link. I'm not sure how this can be a productive conversation if we aren't looking at the same information. And then they got muted. Pretty cool. I'm not clicking on any of your links that maybe go against what I'm trying to express here. You're out of line, Buster. Get muted. Goodbye with you. You're not welcome on r/art anymore for asking us questions and trying to bring up concerns. We don't do that around here. So that's kind of the state of r/art mod team. And I think it's important that you know that this isn't an isolated incident. A few years back, something kind of similar happened where one of the mods went on a bit of a wacky power trip where they had removed a post from an artist claiming that it was AI art. That artist reached out to prove that it wasn't to try and get their post reinstated. I'm the artist of a painting, A Muse in Warzone. I'm here for complaining about the unfair ban, but I can give you guys the process or the PSD file of that painting. I'm not using any AI support, and that punishment is not right. Sorry for my bad English, and thank you for your time. Here's my portfolio. Take a look. The r/art mod replies, I don't believe you. Even if you did paint it yourself, it's so obviously an AI-prompted design that it doesn't matter. If you really are a serious artist, then you need to find a different style because A, no one is going to believe when you say it's not AI, and B, the AI can do better in seconds what might take you hours. Sorry, it's the way of the world. You've been temporarily muted from r/art. Yes, very classy r/art mod. I can hear your pinky was up when you wrote that reply there. So he struck the post down believing it was AI art. When reached out to and challenged with proof that it wasn't AI, he instead goes, okay, so even if you did paint it, and even if you are a serious artist, I still don't like it. Also, AI can do what you did much better in a matter of minutes, what might take you hours. Sorry, bub, that's the way of the world. Also, you're muted. This happened a couple years ago, and when it happened, this was also a pretty big deal to the r/art community, but nothing happened. This mod, as far as I know, is still currently a moderator on the subreddit. Who's to say it's not the same mod that just had this meltdown with Hayden Clay? I think there's a very real possibility, especially judging by the cringe way that they communicate with other people. So I think it's very possible it's the same culprit. Regardless, though, it is so pathetic, whoever is responsible for this shit here. It is unbelievable to me how often this seems to happen with Reddit mods. Like, this stereotype has existed for a long time about being like this sad, lonely loser who power trips as a Reddit mod, and yet it keeps happening over and over and over again. There is no self-awareness and no fucking shame from some of these Reddit mods. It's tragic. What? It's just so stupid, man. Unreal. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.